thank you.
Good. Hey, I was just calling about your listing on
Uh-huh.
yeah, I had sent you an LOI in text last week. Did you get a chance to review that?
I've gotten several of those, so I don't remember, off the top of my head which one yours is.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I mean it was I'm sure if you gotten several, it was one of the ones with creative terms. Is that something that you had discussed with your clients?
My sellers are, they're not, if you're not trying to pay them outright, they're not interested in any type of special financing.
Okay. They just want the loan out of their name and want a traditional sale is what you're saying?
Yep. Yes. Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Do you maybe have any others that I could look at that this might work for?
Actually, I do one.
Okay.
This one is in Peak. My client,
Say that one more time. It's what? Uh-huh. Okay.
that one is one that my seller would consider,
Okay.
something creative. But he would need, like, the max cash out of it. So if that's something that you could, put some numbers together, maybe that one would work.
Yeah. Do you know like some of the numbers like right now, like what he owes, payment, all that stuff, or
It's paid for. You
oh,
cash.
okay, it's owned free and clear. I see. Okay. Okay. And do you know how much like he would kind of want down and how long he'd be willing to carry it for?
Probably a couple years. I would say maybe like if he could get like 50,000 or so or more, that would probably work.
Okay. Okay. And do you think he's open to maybe anything a bit longer? I'm just curious because like for me, for it to make sense, I need to get in there, stabilize it, and probably, usually like 10 years is kind of the minimum that I could, make it work.
Oh, so explain to me a little bit about how your program works, because I don't think I'm understanding 100%. So,
Okay.
can you share like how to structure it?
Yeah, so like if he owns it free and clear in this case, like I recently just bought a house out here in Arizona. I say out here in Arizona because I'm in Arizona right now, but anyways, I bought a house out here on seller finance. I put 5% down, paid the seller 5% interest, and it's amortized over 30 years, but we have a 10-year balloon. So that's kind of what that structure looks like and what made the most sense on this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, I guess to help a client understand what's the benefit for them to do this with you.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you're basically using them for private financing.
Mhm.
So, I mean, how is it beneficial for the client to do this?
Yeah, I would say there's probably like three main benefits. One, and probably the one that sticks out the most and is most important to everyone is that I can get your client the price that they're looking to get, right? So I don't know what they have the Hillcrest listed for right now, but I could get them that price that they want for the property. And then the second benefit is obviously I'm giving them a down payment. And so usually a lot of people are like, okay, well, if they're financing you, like what happens if you miss a payment? All these things, right? So if I missed a payment, the seller or your client would get to keep that down payment that I gave them. And if this is in like, I don't know, 10 years or something, and I, something happens, I get abducted by aliens or something crazy, then they would get to keep that down payment, and then they would get to take the house back and they could do it all over again, or they could just relist it with you, and the house at that time would probably be worth even more, so then they could make more money on it.
Yeah. So are all your deals structured on a 10-year note? Because that's a long time.
Not all of them. That's like the minimum. Most of them are actually like the one that I was originally reaching out to you about on what was it, Blewett, that one, because they have a mortgage on it. And I would be taking those over. Usually, like depending on the rate and how things go, I would say 10 years is about the average that I'm keeping it in my sellers' names. But I mean, sometimes it'll, stay in their name for like the life of the loan, like on Blewett, but on seller finance, it really just depends on Hillcrest, like what your client is looking for. Some people are okay with just receiving that monthly income passively every month from me, and they're willing to carry it for, a longer term. Others are like, okay, well, I don't want to carry it for that long for whatever reason, but on average, I would say it's about 10 years.
Okay. So how do you benefit from this? You as a buyer?
Yeah, so the benefit to me is, well, one, we don't have to go through all the rigmarole of, the banks, appraisals, all that stuff. And then two is, like I said, the price isn't that important to me. It's just really that I'm able to cash flow on the property. So as long as the monthly payments make enough sense, then I'm able to, make money on the property because I'm going to put a renter in there. I'm not living in it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And then what about the renters destroy it or something like that happens?
Yeah, I mean, there will be insurance on the property. So, that would obviously cover anything, but, I'm not in the business of it wouldn't make sense for me to just give someone a bunch of money down, let someone destroy it, and then walk away. Like I would be out of business pretty quickly if that were the case.
Yeah. Okay. So on Hillcrest, that's, this seller, honestly, I think he may be interested in doing something like this with you. I know he probably wouldn't want to do it for that long. I would say probably between 2 to 5 years is probably the most.
Mm-hmm.
But he would need quite a bit of cash out of it just because he paid for it cash,
Mm-hmm.
and he's rehab, so he has, quite a bit invested into it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
But if you want one and see what kind of numbers you can put together.
Yeah, well, I think the better thing is, I mean, we kind of have I feel like I gave you a pretty good baseline of generally where I'm at and what makes sense for me. So really, I would just need to know what he wants, and then I can just see if I can make that work because, he's becoming
That's what I'm saying. I know for a fact for him, for that particular seller, he needs to get the most cash out of it.
Yeah. So maybe this one he might not, I might not be the right buyer for it, just if he's like needing all this cash up front, because generally, like I said, I'm coming in with a bit of a lower down payment and then making those payments over time.
Yeah.
So it may not work, but that's what I'm saying. Like, since he's going to be the bank, I think the best thing would be go to him and be like, hey, what are your loan options? Like, what are you willing to give this person? Just like as if I were to walk into Chase, I don't tell them my terms, they tell me theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then if you want to send me your contact information, I can reach back out to you.
Okay, yeah. Do you just want me to send my email or?
Yeah, just send me a business card. You can text it to this number.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Claudia.